Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 2 of Basic Training. And today, we have two very lovely rifles. So here, we have the Lee Enfield. And the Lee Enfield was the standard issued rifle for the British and the Commonwealth during World War I and World War II. So here we have the don't want to knock that over. So here we have the standard Lee Enfield. This is like what the British had during like North Africa, Europe, obviously Europe in World War I and II, and then North Africa in World War II. Just wherever the British were, you had this rifle if you were a rifleman. But so this rifle has a 10-round box magazine. This rifle does not have an internal magazine, like many other rifles, like the Berthier carbine I've seen in the last video, and the other rifles like the Carabiner 89, 98, and yeah, and meaning since it has a box magazine, you can take it out. So what that means, let's say you're out of ammo and there's like Germans in front of you and you need a reload. What you could do, quickly rip out the magazine, slam another one in, and there you go, you're ready to fire. But that's not really how it went, because you see, these were expensive to make. These are expensive to make, meaning like all the machining parts, all the metal. It's just way more expensive. So usually the British were only given one per rifle, really. And if you needed a replacement, obviously you could get a replacement, but you basically just had one magazine. And you may be wondering, well, how do you reload it? Because you could insert individual rounds, but that isn't fast. And you're correct, that is not fast. So they used these. These are stripper clips. If you're not familiar with stripper clips, what you do is let's empty this back so we can demonstrate how stripper clips. Alright, we got an empty gun. So we grab a stripper clip and we push it in. Then we take out that piece of metal. We put another one in because it has a 10 round, and the British did not have 10 round stripper clips. They only had 5. Why? I have no clue. I'm not British, but yeah, you just put in all your rounds, and boom, you're ready to fire. And yeah, it was a effective way to load your rifle and fire it, and it definitely worked for the British. While everyone else had semi-automatic rifles in World War II, the British still had a bolt-action rifle, which was still technically the standard of World War II, but they really needed to innovate and get like a semi-automatic rifle, which they never did until like I think the 50s or 60s, definitely after World War II, because they did not have any semi-automatic rifle. They obviously got some from America. I think America sent over a few Garans, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, they had the Lee Enfield and just their standard rifle. So let's fire a few rounds of the regular Lee Enfield. Okay, don't ask me how I missed that. Nice. And so again, if you don't know what a bolt action rifle is, basically, after you fire, you need to pull the bolt back. The bolt is the action, meaning as in bolt action. I know, it's crazy. Let's see if we can get a little. Okay, I think that's enough for the regular Lee Enfield. And so yeah, the Lee Enfield fires 303 British, and again, 10-round box magazine loaded with 2 5-round stripper clips, or individually, or with a magazine if you were lucky enough to have multiple. But you may be wondering, what in God's name is that? Well, this is the Jungle Carbine. I don't know. Same with Garand. But this is what the British used in obviously jungle areas. Since this is obviously too long and they needed a shorter version of it that's nice and portable and didn't get like tangled on vines, like that's not too long so you can untangle it and so on. So this is what they used mostly in Asia, most notably in kind of near French Indochina, well, west of French Indochina, kind of in that jungly terrain. Australia also used this too to fight the Japanese. I haven't really read up on the Australian front. Well, not front, just like what the Australians did. But yeah, it's basically just a shorter version of the Lee Enfield, which is why it's called a carbine. But as you can see, there's quite some differences. One, you don't have a cheek rest, unlike the actual rifle, because it would take up space and yeah, yada yada yada. And also, it's definitely notable how shorter the rifle barrel length is. You see, this is way shorter, making it a carbine. You see, a carbine is only made of the barrel length. There's no other factors. A carbine is just based on its barrel length. No caliber, no other special things, just the barrel length. So this is a carbine. You can also see that the hand guard also just ends right here, so the barrel's exposed, unlike the regular Lee Enfield. And yeah, really there's not too many differences. It still worked fine. It's still a Lee Enfield. You just removed some barrel, like some wood too, some metal. And yeah. Also another notable thing, it does not have a bayonet lug. So you cannot put on a bayonet. Like, for example, let's say we're, for some unknown reason, we are going to do a bayonet charge. You can't just, you know, put a bayonet on there. Unlike the British one, because they have the compensator on here. So, obviously that can't fit that on there. Oh, that's my PC. Unlike the British, unlike the regular Lee Enfield, where you could just attach it to the barrel, and there you go. You're ready for a good old bayonet charge. If you're either World War I or you're just a really bad general in World War II. And so yeah, that's basically the Lee Enfield. Let's shoot the Jungle Carbine if you can. It's not really too much of a difference, but why not? Let's see if we can go for the really, really far away. Hey, we hit it. It's quite nice. Got it again. Alright, so thank you for coming to this training by me, Banana Revolutionist, of the Lee Enfield family. I don't know if I'm calling it the family, even though there's way more Lee Enfields. There's the SMLE, there's the Mark III, Mark IV, and so on. But these are just the only Lee Enfields and hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. Because, again, if you don't know why I'm using H3 VR, go watch my other video. I explained it all there, because I do not have money to actually buy these firearms, because I am not Hickok 45 or Demolition Ranch. And yeah, so I just used this, because it's basically the same thing, just in VR, so everything's weightless. I could one-handle the Enfield, and I could be those weird people, I'd be those weird VR people that do bolts like that, which is very wrong. Don't do that. You do that, I'm gonna just go whoop. And yeah, don't do that. I don't know how to do this. It's uncomfortable. But yeah, thank you for coming, and hope you like this new entry in the basic training series. In the next video, I am going to do the Mosin Nagant family. You know, the Mosin, one of the most famous bolt-action rifles made by the Russians, used in the Russo-Japanese War, I'm fairly certain, all the way up to, I think, Vietnam, actually. Yeah, I think the North Vietnamese, or the North Vietnamese had a few Mosins. And then North Korea had some Mosins too, because they were getting help from Russia and Communist China. And so, yeah, we're going to do the Mosin Nagant next, so stick around for that. And yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for coming to this training. You're all dismissed.